the world is becoming stupider and stupider by the second. Just look at this title. It's something that a kindergarten person would say. It's like, the D word will be as offensive as the N word. You know, I remember like in kindergarten when a kid would go and tell on Billy, it's like, teacher, Billy said the F word. It's like, and it's so stupid. By the way, it's so ridiculous. Everyone knows the kid says fuck, right? Like in your head, you know the F word is fuck. But no, like if you say the F word, it's fine. But you're not allowed to say, what is it with this mental gymnastics? Okay, like, is this reality? Is this how adults behave nowadays, huh? Yeah, apparently is. So what are we supposed... well, first of all, like, what is the D word? It's disabilities, okay? Disabilities is now bad. So what are we supposed to use instead of disabilities? You want to know? Come here, I'll tell you. Come here. Access inclusion seekers. I wish I was making this up, alright? Like, I genuinely do. What is with political correctness that really wants the other person to die of old age before finishing the conversation? I prefer short words, you know? The shorter the word, the better. But no, when political correctness comes, instead of just saying disabled, small word, everyone gets it, access inclusion seeker. Like, you know, you fall asleep while the other person is talking. It's the same. It's like, you know, instead of saying black, people of color. Even the LGBT, like you have this short thing, LGB it used to be, right? Now it's LGBTQQIP2SAA. You think I'm making it up, right? I know you're thinking, V, you're pulling my leg, aren't you? No. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, transsexual, two-spirit, queer, and questioning. Yeah, the 2S is silent. I genuinely like do not understand this thing. I think it's made to troll people. This is what political correctness must be. It's just there to fuck with people, you know. But not only that, right? Like if we look at the reason that this thing exists, like who sat one day on the toilet with diarrhea and then written the shit on a piece of paper saying that, you know what, yeah, disability is now a problem. Well, I'll tell you who. It's the Sydney Lord Mayor Claver Moore, which wants to normalize the term access inclusion seeker, after the Sydney City Council of Inclusion Advisory Panel. Look how long, look how many words they got, right? And they have experts. Yeah, the Sydney City Council Inclusion Advisory Panel has an expert. It's like, what are you an expert of? Oh, I'm an expert of Inclusion Advisory Panel. So these people, you need to understand, okay? They suck the blood of the people. They're like vampires, like ticks. They suck the blood. What do I mean by this? They use your taxes, okay? Those taxes could go to a hospital. Right? They could go to an old man shelter. They could do some good. Right? It's not the fact that the government is robbing you blind. And by the way, I'm not an ANCAP, it's like taxation is theft. No. But most nations nowadays are already taxing people an exorbitant amount of money. Right? So at least you might think that that money might go somewhere useful. But no, it goes to the Sydney City Council Inclusion Advisory Panel, which are some people that somehow need to justify their existence. So how they justify their existence? Oh, well, we decided that in order to benefit people with disabilities, we're going to police the language now. Like, yeah, but not a single person with disability has their life improved because of it. You know, but they need to pass something. They need to do something. You can't just go at work and hold your dick in your hand. I bet most of those people who are doing the city council inclusionary advisory panel are playing solitaire on their fucking computer all day, and every now and then their boss goes, it's like, come on, we're on the taxpayer money, you know, we need to do something, right? Just come up with some shit. Yeah, disability bad. You know, like what's also interesting, like these things never come from bottom up. It's like, it's not you notice people with disabilities around, right? Like the random people on the street that are starting to complain. In fact, like disability is not even used as an insult. You know, I've never heard someone that uses disability. Like, a retard at least makes some sense, because it's like, okay, you can use it as an insult to someone. But even that, for me, doesn't make that much sense, because idiot is fine, alright? Moron is fine, cretin is fine, it's just retard that's the problem. Like, why? You can even use autistic as an insult. again, right? Like I genuinely, it baffles my brain. You know, this is like the time where manhole used to be offensive because it had the word man in it. That was in the 90s, by the way. Maybe I should shut the fuck up before I give them more ideas. But I generally think this is a ploy from the newspapers. You know, it's like the greetings card companies and the flower company. They're in on it. They're in on Valentine's. They have a ploy. You know, like that's when they sell their merchandise. That's when they sell their shit. Like millions of dollars are being sold because people buy Valentine's card. You know, so the corporations, the flower corporation has its jaws in it. And I think like this is why so many papers love social justice. They get a boner for it, right? Because people have to constantly read the newspapers in order to find out what's acceptable and what isn't acceptable to say anymore. If you don't buy it, you might get fired or you might get in trouble or some activist on the Twitter might get upset at you. Donate to her Patreon, right? So you need to constantly read the papers to find out what new words are acceptable and which ones aren't. No matter like the working class is getting shafted and every time they try to say something on the BBC, the Guardian or any newspapers, immediately like the journalists latch onto them because they can't speak political correctness. When the fuck do they have time to read this shit? You know, I used to suck the dick of McDonald's. I used to suck the clown cock. And, you know, like, I would work 10, 11 hours a day. I would come home beaten, tired, exhausted, and I just wanted to go to sleep. Do you think I had the time to read the newspapers to find out what other words these people consider unacceptable now? And you know what? I would be perfectly okay with political correctness. Tomorrow, I would say, you know what? Fine. Let's do this. Let's do it. Political correctness. I will support it. But can you please, for the love of God, I don't know, take 1 month, take 2 months, take a year where you bring all the intelligent minds of social justice. You know, you bring your intellectual artillery, put them in a fucking university and make them like cook up the new dictionary, and that's it. That's it. Like that would be it. No more words, no more nothing new. All right, you give me like the thing that you want me to say. I learn it, and that is it. All right, like from that point forward, you're not modifying shit. Can we do that? Could we do that? Probably not. No, it's an ongoing process, isn't it? Has to keep coming and keep coming. It's just astonishing, right? Like again, the word retard. You say it on the Twitter, you get banned. I just, but not to mention this, right? Like I know people with disabilities, right? I know a person that can't hear. I know a person that's blind. I know people like that in my life, and when I told them about this, they started laughing. Did you even consult these people before sitting defending them? You know, did you even poll the disabled population and asking them, how would you like to be called access inclusion seeker? I think, you know, if the person still has strength in their hands, they would grab something and come after you to beat the shit out of you. Say, well, for even suggesting it. So apparently on the panel, Mr. Mark Tonga said using the term disabled portrayed people as having less capacity and less ability. No fucking shit, that is reality. Like, that is objective. Yeah, if you pull out my eyes, I will have less ability to see than a person with eyes. Like, that is actually how it works, isn't it? Like, if someone takes an axe and brings it to your kneecap and sectionates your leg, then yeah, you're going to have less ability to walk than a person that has legs, which is why you have a disability. Why is it offensive if it's real? Oh my God, are we declaring war on reality now, aren't we? You know, like who needs to be protected from reality? Let's see, children, incredibly emotional, vulnerable people, people with mental disabilities. Like for example, if you have a schizophrenic who genuinely believes he has an imaginary friend, actually telling him and confronting him about it bluntly is detrimental because the person might react violently. They might get very upset that you're challenging their delusions, right? So you need to be careful. So let's recap. Mental people, children, and incredibly emotional people that have like some trauma or something. So it's usually like people who are damaged in the head, can't take with reality. And I'll tell you what, disabled people don't seem to be the one complaining about that word, though, is the people at the the City Council Inclusion Advisory Panel. They seem to be the cuckoo ones. But anyway, right? Very progressive. I have to say, I think it's all the money worth. How much money did the research cost, I wonder? Like, how much money was it paid for someone to come up with this shit? Is it for free? Or because usually, like, you'll notice if you actually go to the bunny trail, you usually find out that before some bullshit like this comes out, it's a study. Okay, they make a study, which usually costs quite a lot. It can cost up to 10 grand, taxpayer money, by the way. So they pay 10 grand in order to come. Yeah, we did the study and we came up with the idea that the word disabled is bad. And when you read the study, it's just some horseshit, that gets peer reviewed by a circle jerk. It's just absolutely disgusting, and people don't call it out and they take it seriously. Not to mention, like, don't you think black people might have an issue with it? Like, black people will now look, okay, so the N-word is just as bad as the D-word. Not to mention, like, the press is already starting to use the D-word as if it's a thing. Like, look at it. It already encouraged me not to say disabled. I know why they're doing this. Right? It's because I started saying that the chat has disabilities. I started mocking their shit. Now, it's a conspiracy against me, of course. There's a war on your mind. Look, I say chat has disabilities whenever someone disables the chat. And the disability is the Down syndrome because the comments are down. And now you get the study. Donate to me. I'm being oppressed. Donate to my Patreon, my Subscribe Star, and give me super chats. I'm being oppressed. Help. Help, I'm being oppressed. It's okay to be white.